Did you know that with this simple machine, you can mine thousands of dollars each month just by running it on solar panels? I asked Grok how much money was rewarded to the crypto miners in the year 2024. It stated $15 billion. Then I asked Grok how many people did that crypto mining. And do you know what it said? Only around 1 million people, which means there are still a lot of people who do not know anything about crypto mining, and I can explain it here in just two simple sentences. You know that people buy real gold, and then when the price increases higher, they sell it for profit. Now, cryptocurrency is just like that gold in the digital format. So, you buy this cryptocurrency or digital gold and hold it, and when the price reaches higher, you sell it for profit, which is real cash, real money. Now, imagine that you don't even have to buy that digital gold, because this machine is going to make that gold. It is going to produce that gold for you 24/7 throughout the day, throughout the month, and all over the year, just by acquiring a small space in your office or home and electricity. And this electricity can easily be saved by the use of solar panels. And the setup for that will be shared here in this video later. Now comes the unboxing of the product. Here we get the product manual, some connector cables, and the Wi-Fi antenna. Next, the final mining machine that we get with it, it is the goldshell AE box 2 that runs on 540 watts power. Now the antenna goes at the back, and this is the overall view, and this is the finer connector cable, and we have to remove the wrappings from it. And you see that this wire has two sub connectors. Next comes the main power supply with which we are going to run the goldshell AE box 2 mining machine. MSI 750 watts power supply. It is a computer ATX power supply. Now the computer ATX power supply are not directly compatible with the mining machine, but with some engineering and wiring we can make it perfectly compatible, because this power supply is 750 watts and our mining machine is only 540 watts. So yes, this power supply can easily handle that much power. So it is not the power that is the problem, it is the compatibility. Now at the back of the MSI power supply you can see there are so many connectors, and that's the cooling fan and 360 view plus all the ratings. Now this you see is a big cable and there is a big slot, so obviously this cable is going to go into that slot. Also guys, we get so many cables with the MSI power supply, but we are not going to need all those. We are only going to need this big one and the PCI cables. Now the PCI cables are the main power feeding cables to the goldshell AE box 2. We are not going to use any other slot for feeding power to the mining machine. So we get 4 PCIe slots, and we need all the 4 to fully power up our goldshell AE box 2. Now there is another problem, that even though we have 4 PCIe slots and we are given 4 PCIe cables, only 2 of the cables are compatible with the connectors of the goldshell AE box 2, which means there is this power delivery issue, because each PCIe slot can deliver a maximum of only 12.5 amperes of current, and if we use the 2 cables that are completely compatible, we are only going to be able to provide 25 amperes, which is not even close to what we actually need. So the other 2 cables need the modification, and that is exactly what I'm going to do here in this video. So anyways guys, let's turn on the power supply. Here I'm connecting the cord and plugging in. Now it is time to turn on the switch, and you can see that the power supply is not working. It is not that the power supply is damaged or something, it is just that it needs a signal from the motherboard, and for that reason this process needs a small trick, which is going to be completed with this small red wire. and this red wire is going to be inserted into two of the slots as shown here on this big cable. And then when you turn on the switch, you will see that the power supply will start running. So here you can see that I'm doing the modification in the wires. I am removing some wires that are not needed, and I'm also removing the daisy chained wire, as daisy chaining is not at all allowed. So now we have two perfect PCIe cables. Now comes the other two PCI cables which are not compatible, so we will have to make them compatible by using the removed daisy chain cable and add it to one of the non-compatible PCI cable, and this is how we are going to make the third perfect PCI cable that is going to be perfectly compatible with our mining machine connectors. After that, here I'm performing this voltage check on our newly made PCI cable to see if everything is fine or not. And as you can see, the displayed voltage is 12 volts as it should be. And now we can safely increase the wire joint strength by performing the soldering process. And make sure that you are really thorough with the soldering process, because these joints are going to carry huge amperes. After the soldering process comes the insulation part, where you can use the heat shrink tube. Now I don't have the perfect size for this wire, so here I'm using some electrical tape and some zip ties to secure them for long-term usage. And that's it. Now we have three perfect fully dedicated PCI cables that can carry 12.5 amperes each. So here I'm connecting them to the respective connectors that are finally going to get connected to the goldshell AE box to mining machine. And with the help of three connectors, I will be able to feed my mining machine with 37.5 amperes, which should be enough to at least test run it, although there are still some connectors left, and that part will get started just after this test. So let's turn on the electricity, and here as you can see, the red light indicates that the mining machine is getting power from the ATX power supply successfully without any issues, which means that the modification was 100% correct and it is getting started. Now let's move on with the last wire modification for adding another 12.5 amperes from our ATX computer power supply. Now this last PCIe cable that I'm going to modify will be connected as a jumper to all the three previous PCIe cables, including the one that I modified, just to help all of them a little bit to increase their overall output amperes, which was initially 12.5 amperes to 15 amperes. And so equal proper distribution of current with full utilization. And now after completing that, here I am performing the soldering process once again, and after that comes the insulation process, for which I have the respective heat shrink tubes which I am using here. And once that is done, you can safely move on to the final testing of the mining machine, because now the power supply is ready to feed up to 50 amperes and we only need 45 amps. So let's do the connections, the final connections, and plug it in and turn the switch on. And here as you can see that the machine is running perfectly fine without any issues, which means the connections were 100% correct. And I have also made a dedicated video with step-by-step instructions for anyone to understand, and they can watch it by going through the link provided in the description in the comment section, as well as by clicking on the end screen provided at the end of the video. Now let's go to my screen and see the status. So that is the gold shell page for my mining status. You can see the average hash rate. It is 70 mega hash with a temperature of 57.8 degrees Celsius and a fan speed of 3240 RPM. And it is online for 6 minutes. That's the chart for 6 minutes, and that is my earnings page. It is not much because I have test run it for around 6 or 7 minutes a day before and then again today. So it is going to increase with time and if run regularly. Here I'm going to use this 12 volts 1.5 kilowatts LiFePO4 battery pack to run my mining machine on solar backup. Next, we will need a 1.5 kilowatts inverter. Here I'm using this pure sine wave. So here I'm connecting the wires of the battery pack to my inverter. First, I'm connecting the black or negative wire from the battery pack to the negative terminal of the inverter. And after that, as you can see that I'm connecting the red wire from the battery pack, which represents the positive terminal, again to the red or positive terminal of the inverter. Make sure that you do not interchange them. So the battery pack and the inverter have been successfully connected. Let's connect the power cable first. Here you can see that the weather is cloudy, and here I've connected my solar panel. And if we check the voltage, you can see it is 21 volts DC, although the current is going to be low. So anyways, let's connect the cables from my solar panels to the buck converter. Now this one is a DC to DC buck converter. You can see that it takes in 9 to 36 volts DC and gives out 13.8 volts DC. Now this 13.8 volts is perfect for any battery charging. So I'm going to use this, and you can see the power rating, it is saying 69 watts. So the power rating is quite less, which means that we will have to use around 10 such pieces connected in parallel. And connecting in parallel is going to increase the overall power rating to 690 watts, and we only need around 550 watts. So this will work great. Now by connecting in parallel, what I mean is connecting the similar colored wires together, except for the black ones. The yellow will be connected to yellow. This side black wire of the top converter will be connected to the black wire of the converter below it, and finally red to red and black to black. So this converter pack is now in parallel, and this common red and common black is going to be the overall input, which will be connected to the solar panels, and this common yellow and common black is going to be the overall common output, which will be connected to the battery pack. Now this is just for demonstration, and right now I'm going to show you the setup with just one converter, because even though these two converters look identical, the ratings of this one are completely different. You see 36, 48, 12, 25 amps. This is 300 watts, and this one is only 69 watts. Even though they look identical, they're not the same. So I will have to use only this one. So guys, I've been waiting for around 2 days and it is still cloudy. Seems like the sunlight is going to come soon. You can see the water droplets on my solar panel, and here I'm using this tool to give it an angle, and the wires of the solar panel I've connected, and they are going to my lab. These are the wires. Now I know that the output from the buck converter is going to be less, but when the sun is going to kick in, then the output is going to increase higher. And here I've connected my multimeter reading around 21 volts. So let's connect my DC to DC buck converter, and then finally connect the entire setup to the battery for charging. So now I'm going to connect the buck converter, the input wire. This one is positive. Positive has to be connected to the positive, and negative to negative. Keep the output separate. Let's connect an LED light and see if that is glowing. So that's the LED panel. You see 84 LEDs. White one. Finally the positive, and go. See? Wow. And now it is glowing. Oh, I think the wiring is loose. The wires were loose. You see, it is working pretty good. I'm using a 125 watts solar panel right now, and because of that, even though it is cloudy, it is still working. Now in reality, to do the mining with the solar panels, we will actually need even bigger solar panel setup that can produce up to 700 or 800 watts. So here is the overall negative terminal that is going to be connected to the negative of the battery pack, and this is the positive. And now to prove that the converter is actually charging the battery pack, here I'm going to put my mic really close to the converter so that you can hear the humming sound. Okay, so I hope that you heard it. So guys, this part is going to be a little shaky because the camera is in my hands, and let's turn on my inverter. So we have 220 volts, and the buck converter is charging the battery, even though slowly, but when the sun is going to kick in, it is going to be much faster. And finally turning on the ATX power supply, and this is going to turn on my mining machine. And go! Oh. So the machine is on, and there you see the light. Okay, I'm going to show you the light from a different angle because it is not visible right now. And here it is. My mining machine is actually mining on solar panel. That's the sound. Full speed. That is so cool. I finally finished the solar setup, and the good thing of using this LiFePO4 battery is that it can charge at really high amperes, so you can connect large number of solar panels without getting scared of damaging the battery. Now let's talk about the digital gold, the Aleo cryptocurrency. So the price of this Aleo cryptocurrency on the date 29th of September 2024 was $7 for one Aleo. And this mining machine, which goes by the name of goldshell AE box 2, it can mine up to 10.5 Aleos per day, and the price of each Aleo was $7, making it $73.5 each day or $2,200 each month, which seems like a lot of money. But because of bad market conditions, the price has fallen down a lot, and right now it is trading at $0.2 per Aleo, which is very less. And if we go for 10 Aleos, it is going to be $2 earning each day, making it around $60 earnings each month, which sounds really less. But then again, you don't have to sell it now. You have to hold it in your crypto wallets, and then when the price hits high, you can sell it for higher profit. Now let's go on to the details of this mining machine, and thanks a lot for my sponsor of this video, the Jinglemining. The goldshell AE box 2 is an ASIC miner that is going to be used to mine Aleo cryptocurrencies based on the ZK snark algorithms. The key features are, first, the power rating. It is 530 watts plus and minus 5%, and the energy efficiency of 9.81 joules per mega hash, and thus making it suitable for home mining. The hash rate is 54 mega hashes per second, and thus it gives around 46% increase than its predecessor miner. The noise level is reduced to 35 decibels. The cooling system is pretty good. It offers two brushless high-speed fans, and the sound is less, plus the cooling system is great, thus increasing the overall lifespan of this mining machine. For connectivity, it offers both Ethernet and Wi-Fi connectivity, although Ethernet connection or LAN connection is always recommended over Wi-Fi to prevent reject rates. The weight of the machine is 2.5 kgs. It is not very heavy. The operating conditions for this are 0 to 45 degrees Celsius, although I have been operating it at around 60 degrees without any issues, which means that it is going to cap at around 65 degrees centigrade. So better to keep it at around 45 degrees by cooling or placing it in some better place. This is going to increase its overall lifespan, and the humidity is 0 to 65% and not more than that. Now, there are two more products that I've got from their website, the Jinglemining and Crypto Tracker. Starting with the Crypto Tracker, as the name suggests, it is going to track crypto price. That's a USB cable, and that's the main machine itself. It's cute. Nice little device. Let's set it up. We have the manual. So after configuring it, this is how it works. And connect. So here you see, that's the price of Bitcoin right now. Pretty good crypto price indicator along with time and date. And you can change the type of cryptocurrency, like you can choose Solana or Dogecoin or any other cryptos according to your requirement. Finally, moving on to our Jinglemining. Although I would like to test one more thing, let's connect it back again and see if it works same as before. Yeah, we don't have to configure it again and again. Moving on to the Jinglemining, I've already configured it. So you see that this has started mining, and this small Bitcoin miner is going to mine an entire block. It is not going to be pool mining, and because of which it is almost impossible for it to mine a single block, and that is why it is called a lucky draw, because if it mines a single block, then the reward is 3.125 bitcoins, the value of which is even more than $300,000. Now, the reward might be substantial, but the chances of winning that reward are very less because of the network difficulty of Bitcoin. It is 127 trillion, and for that reason, the chances of winning are 1 in every 3.64 trillion. Considering its latest speed of 250 kilo hash per second, although I'm not sure why it is still showing 75 kilo hash here. I think I will have to update it.